Minnesota sports lifer Paulie with us, and I kind of call him a North Star because he knows how to handle this stuff better than I do. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Well, let me ask you how this works. You're a sports guy, got a lot of sports going on in our lives. When your team gets gutted like a deer in deer season, they then get rid of all the scouts you could possibly have to get new people in and then fire the head coach. And, by the way, missed the playoffs by, 82 games. Do you get excited to watch the playoffs? Or is it like I can let baseball sit now and go on to something else to be disappointed in? What do you do?
I'm a baseball guy, so yeah, I'll be watching the playoffs. I've watched a couple of the wild card games.
Okay.
I've got a vested interest in that there are teams I like and teams I don't. So
Okay.
I'll be rooting for or against different teams. Disappointed last night in the loss by the Padres, hoping they would knock off the Cubs. Didn't happen. Stupid Yankees beat the Red Sox to advance. But happy about the Tigers. They had an epic collapse, but then they finally righted their ship enough to win 2 out of 3 against Cleveland. So the Tigers are a good young team, and I think that'll be fun. And now the other teams that I like are Seattle and Toronto. They're going to be hosting now. And they're fun teams to watch. So, I'm watching.
There's problems in all this. First off, you lose a lot of money because Detroit had an epic collapse. They talk about sliding into the playoffs the way they did. Guardians come back, they're on a high, and then they lose to the Detroit Tigers. I guess I didn't see that coming. I think the Mariners buried the Tigers. Yeah? No?
I think so. Seattle's really good, I've talked about the World Series I want is Milwaukee against either Seattle or Toronto, the two smaller markets and all of that. We've talked about that before, and I'd be up for that. No, but
baseball would hate it.
Yeah, baseball would hate it. ESPN would hate it. But but back to the Twins. Yeah, you kind of triggered me there a little bit because you got the team. You take the entire bullpen and trade everybody away. One of the arms we had, Griffin Jacks, he was, I think, an heir apparent. He could have been a closer if they'd have traded Duran, which I get. If you're not winning, you don't need a closer, right? But Griffin Jacks could have assumed that for late this year and then next. But apparently Griffin Jacks had a argument with Rocco about either the way he was used or some of the stuff. So with Rocco probably had an influence on trading Jacks, which is, so, and then now they fire Rocco. Well, keep one of them. Griffin Jacks would have been a fine closer. And frankly, Rocco, this isn't Rocco's fault. The team loses 92 games, but he had no bullpen to work with. They traded 10 guys at the deadline. How do you do that and hold him accountable for that?
Farley, is it Farley, the chief executive Farley? Is it Farley or something like that? Anyway. Falvey. That guy comes out and he goes, "This is my fault. But everybody knows when you lose 92 games, someone's got to go." And they fired Rocco. He said, "I started with, it's my fault." Good. Man up and resign.
Then resign. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's just such a mess. The scouting thing, we talked about this before. I'm not worried about that. A lot of teams are cutting their scouting. There's so much analytics, they don't need guys out traveling with the eye test as much as before. So I'm not worried about the scouting thing. That's a trend. But it's Rocco is a good manager. He will get picked up.
There's 8 openings now. They also came out yesterday that Farley said that we don't necessarily need a real name brand coach. We need someone who will fit in the clubhouse. Meaning we're not going to spend any money, and to fit in the clubhouse. Half these guys haven't even got a permanent locker marker yet in the clubhouse. These guys, there are 8 people who know how to play baseball. Fit with who?
Rocco knows the clubhouse. He's a former player. He's a former all-star. He knows this game from a player's perspective.
AL Manager of the Year.
I don't buy that. I don't buy it at all.
So what does this lead you to believe about your Twins, Paulie? This is my point. What does this lead you to believe? What could possibly happen with those poll ads between now and the start of next year that change your mind, that think they're trying?
They don't care. I don't know how many more symbols and signs we need. They don't.
They literally got to put a sign on the stadium. We don't care. Maybe we'll believe them then.
They put out a thing where they're trying to sell the team. and then retracted that. It's like, no, we're going to keep the team. Well, if you're going to keep the team, invest in the team, make the team better. That ain't happening. They're they're treating this like it's a profit and loss P&L sheet, and you know that's not the way it's supposed to work. So it's really bad, and I wonder what's going to happen with their season ticket base. If they don't do something to get people excited for next year, it's not going to be pretty.
Doesn't MLB run the TV for the Twins, by the way? Isn't that via the MLB? Because who's going to spend $99 a month to watch what's coming up? That TV revenue thing, that's...
Yeah, no, it's not. There won't be that much. And it's really sad because that's my happy place.
I was going to say, that's your happy place. When your happy place is no longer happy, life is not good. One more thing I want to talk about before we go to break, because we got some interesting things to discuss. Your thoughts on Minnesota and Cleveland. We're at Cleveland, if you will, in London. The Vikings are. They're actually a 3.5-point favorite, but I presume half the world didn't see it because it was so darn early in the morning. They didn't see how bad we played. Do we beat Cleveland, Paul?
I don't know. I do not know. I do not know.
The sports lifer is really being honest today. I hate that for you.
You don't like that?
I like when we cover it up and put the feelings down. Push feelings down. Eat over the feelings. Push them down.
No, I get it. No, I have come to resign myself to the Vikings are an 8-9 team. They'll be in the middle of the pack. They're not going to the playoffs. This is not happening. JJ McCarthy is going to take more lumps. We're not going to win a ton of games with Carson Wentz. And Brosmer's not the hero, coming in to save the day, despite some good preseason days, or games. Mm-hmm. So no, I don't see it. I think we might lose in London, and that'll put us behind a real big 8-ball when Philadelphia.
Oh, the next 4 games are terrible for us.
Yeah,
next 4.
It's not good.
I'm really sad that Minnesota Sports Lifer is this down on me because I'm saying, because this is who I am, Paul, we will find a way to win this Sunday against Cleveland. We have to say one game. What?
That's why I am the Minnesota Sports Lifer and you are not. I've got more scar tissue than you. You spent a little time in South Dakota, right? Where did you spend a little time? Ohio?
All the way to 6. Yeah.
You're not one of them.
I was out of state for some time. Yes, that's true.
There you see? You weren't here for the first Super Bowl, so there you go.
Oh, my goodness. That's too funny. All right, we got to go to break. We have lots to talk about. Your Gophers are, we'll see how good your Gophers are. Let's talk Gophers after this. This should be fun. We'll be back right after this.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor.
Say that again.
Such good stuff. You are so good.
We're having fun. 2 minutes.
The original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
Tired of one-sided media and divisive noise drowning out your conservative values? Take back the conversation with Braver Angels. Join a grassroots movement to restore civility and find common ground without compromising your principles. As a conservative, your voice matters. Share your perspective on issues like immigration and public health in Red Blue workshops and help rebuild trust in our great nation. Be a leader in depolarizing America. Sign up for free at mn.braverangels.org. Braver Angels, where conservatives, liberals, and independents unite for a stronger republic.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
Minnesota Sports Lifer, here we go. Little truth serum. Your Minnesota Golden Gophers, who are 3-1, by the way, and one of their defensive backs actually said might be the best defense in the country. That's what he said after one of the... What?
Don't listen to defensive backs. Don't. Wide receivers and defensive backs. Don't listen to them.
Okay. All that being said, the
Why
Ohio
would you do
State...
that on the Ohio State week? Why would you do that?
Because
Man.
I actually had to look it up. Now, this is brought to you by DraftKings, and they're not a sponsor of this program. They could be. They'd have to explain drafting and all that to me. But here's how I understand the money line. Minnesota Gophers, plus 1,200. You, if you bet $100, would get $1,200 back if the Gophers win. Ohio State Buckeyes, negative 2,400. Basically, you would have to spend $2,400 betting on them
To win
to get
$100?
$100 to win 100.
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay, so that's how I get the spread 23.5. The total score 43. No, 10 to 35. I mean, the spread.
Total score is 43. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, so the prediction is Ohio State runs away with it and calls off the Dogs.
Exactly.
They've got a 30-point lead. And
Is that how you see it go? You look so disappointed we're even talking about this. This is going to show us who we are. We play that patty cake stuff. We're halfway to bowl eligible. We've won one game. Maybe I could be proud of. We're halfway to bowl eligible, and now we're going to see what we really look like. 6:30, by the way, primetime game tomorrow night.
Primetime game, yeah. Normally Ohio State is that prime afternoon game, but to have them in the evening, it's a big opportunity for PJ. It is. Are they going to win the game? No. In Minnesota, we're good at moral victories. A moral victory would be keep this thing close.
Yeah.
But even if you keep it close for a half, Ohio State's got so many good athletes. They'll run away with it in the second half, unless you've got guys who just really bow the neck and go, no, we're not today. We're gonna make this happen. We have won at Ohio State before. Glenn Mason pulled that off years ago.
Was that 1886, 87, something like
in the
that?
early 2000s, I believe. So it has
25
been
years
done.
ago.
It has been done. I think Ron
Here's my
Johnson
thing.
caught
Can you pull that off, Coach? Can you pull that off as a moral victory? Say these guys think we're going to lose by 24 points. Let's show them we can only lose by 10. Can a coach pull that off and say let's try to steal some people's money? That's really wrong.
No,
DraftKings probably.
No. You play to win, and you try to find ways to put your guys in the right spot, and make some noise. But yeah, I mean, they recruit. They get all the best players. There's a handful of teams that get all the best players, no matter where they're from. Georgia, Ohio State, LSU.
So we're talking
Bama.
squib. Opening kickoff will be a squib kick. Is that what you're predicting if we kick off? I think we do. I think we pull all that stuff. Third down, we punt just to keep them off guard. Stuff like that. We got to pull.
If it's an advantage, I would. If I want my coach to pull every stop possible, because you want to shock the world. This is a way to do it. You win the game, and you win it on the road. So
will you be
kept
watching
close
it?
with Ohio State a couple years ago. They were here, and we actually did keep them close till the fourth. They had a late score, so I'll be watching.
I'll be smoking a cigar watching it too, I guess. All right, I got to give Kirill a lot of credit. When he turned down $128 million for the Wild as the biggest contract ever, said that son does not want to play here. He wants someplace else because he just turned down this huge contract. That's why I'm not an agent. Agent says no. A week later, they come back with another $8 million. He's going to get $138 million to play here. Bravo, young man. Bravo. Well played. He's here.
He's here. Can he stay on the ice is the question, right? I mean, he started out really good last year and was playing like an MVP until he got hurt. And that's been the thing is that, in the NHL, guys take runs. And if you can't handle those hits, you end up on the sideline for a while. And I think they're planning on hoping for, some relief when the salary cap goes up, so they'll have some things they can do in the next few years. But I'm glad he's here. He is a difference maker. He just needs to stay healthy and stay on the ice.
I don't know how we fit in the salary cap, and I don't even honestly how it works in the NHL. But does a guy get to that kind of money, and is there enough money to put people around him so we have a chance. He's one of those players. You just got to have him on the ice, but can you make it work around him? I have no idea how that works.
Yeah, that's the question. They do need to get some other veteran, but now that they've locked him up, I think this will be a more attractive place for other veterans to come at the trade deadline or, in free agency to come here. And a lot of their younger guys, they did lock up and are going to stay around. Faber's got a long-term deal. Eriksson Ek is here. Boldy, they're here. So the core is here. Now you need to find the other parts to augment it. And if they're really competing, they might be active at the trade deadline to bring in a couple of veterans to, what if they also need to protect a guy like that, right?
Yeah,
Foligno's getting older. I mean, the NHL doesn't have the Willie Plett goons and Jack Carlson goons that they used to, but they do need guys to protect, so they don't take shots at them. So they know that, because otherwise they know their guy's going to get run, right? Yeah. So we could use another.
That'd be anti-Twins action if the Wild goes out and spends some money to do this. Real quick, I want to hit a couple more things. With women's volleyball, which you love to watch, you're a big fan, crack the top 10. And this is like second stringers, right? Like three best gals, including the Flopalopal lady that wears the extra uniform. She's out. I mean, everybody's gone, and they still crack the top 10. You got to like that.
No, you got to hand it to Keegan Cook. The coach. We had Hugh McCutcheon. Was the Olympic coach. He was very good, coach here for the Gophers. Got him to a couple Final Fours, I believe. And but now that the guy who replaced Hugh is doing a nice job, and you got to hand it to him for keeping this team, on the upswing. So, no, it's good stuff. And, they're getting volleyball's getting a lot of play, Big Ten Network's putting a lot of those games on. Yeah. So
I want to throw, as far as coaches out, one to the Lynx's coach who blows a gasket in the third game, gets kicked out of the fourth. We lose. Napheesa Collier comes out and rips, not just rips the league, took the top dog and said, "You suck. You're terrible. You're bad." And half a dozen of the best players in that league backed her up on it. I believe the WNBA has got to figure something out quick. Whether this gal has to leave, whether they have to do something, because as soon as they get that popularity, that's going to crack. Everybody believes there's something going on behind the scenes. Your thoughts on Napheesa putting her name on the line? Congratulations, young lady. Wow.
That was bold. And
go after the boss.
Yeah, and for her, but it's very telling. She could have just been out there dangling, but she did it. And then, like you said, a lot of other players backed her up for it. So that, you're right. It's a bigger deal because of that. When your best players in mass, back up a claim like that.
And what's weird is they're calling for
the story. Instead of the playoffs, that's going to be the story, I think.
That's right. And they're not calling, obviously they all want more money. Name somebody who doesn't. They all want that, but they want a clean game. They're just keep showing that it's refereeing. And the people's opinion of that is we all do. There isn't a person I've said, well, I hope they cheat us out of a game today. So they have the people on their side on this. Maybe the money thing we can argue about, but clean refereeing, that they should clean that up like this.
Yeah. And now all of these players who put their name to that too, right? How are the refs? These are going to be largely the same refs next year. How are they going to get, treated next year?
Yeah, you think Napheesa's going to get any calls? It's going to be enough.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to watch. Hey, Paulie, we're out of time. We appreciate you, my friend. We'll get you back here next week, right?
All right. Sounds good. Thanks,
He's
Al.
Minnesota's sports lifer on the Al Travis Show.
Think about it. A famous